Tory Lanez stabbed, poked up 14 times while he was in the pen.
Worst case scenario, he's got a hot album coming out off of the I've been stabbed 14 times.
I'm just like, damn, Megan, you just can't catch a break.
Tory Dan's bitch Dan's Jenkins is exactly where he needs to be, and that is in jail.
Miracles happen every day, and maybe Tory Lanez had his miracle. Maybe he's got another one coming.
Apparently, Tory Lanez stabbed, poked up 14 times while he was in the pen.
Pause.
Right? Now, how did he get in the pen? By now, we already know. He was fucking around with Meg's drunk ass, and unfortunately, shit didn't work out for him, even though low-key he had a plea and would have maybe done less time. But listen, that's a different story for a different day. But Tory's locked up, right? Making hits, making songs or whatnot, and apparently somebody ordered a hit on him, at least that's what the street is saying, right, when he got stabbed 14 times. So, long story less long, Tory got stabbed 14 times, right? But apparently, because the official people said he got stabbed, he got moved to a facility. His Instagram page said he got stabbed 14 times, had a collapsed lung, was able to get the fluid out there, and now he's breathing. He's fucking Tupac for real, right? And so aside from that, the day after he got stabbed, his lawyers was like, hey man, we got more evidence to prove Tory was telling the truth the entire time. Apparently a driver for Kelsey overheard her talking to the husband about how things happened. Apparently Kelsey pulled out the gun, started shooting a couple times. Tory being like the Superman, like, no, don't do it. Lunged at her arm, moved the gun a little bit, shot 2 more times as it was falling, right? And so, is it coincidence? Is it the Rockefeller and them? Not Rockefeller. Is it not Rockefeller? Jay-Z and is it Jay-Z? Yeah, Jay-Z and them, who basically ordered the hit because they didn't want to reveal the truth about Meg, their superstar, all this other conspiracy shit going on. What do y'all think? Tory Lanez, the new Tupac, or no, that's not the topic, I'm sorry. Do you believe he was stabbed 14 times and no, that's not the topic. How do y'all feel about the new evidence? I'm trying to make sure I'm getting this right. I'm reading and talking at the same time. Does this make you believe Tory more, right? The coincidence of the stabbing and new evidence. How do y'all feel about the Tory Lanez case that just won't end for some reason?
I'll go ahead and jump into this one really quickly then. So I would say this. I find it interesting. So first, if he got stabbed all the many times and he survived, then kudos to you, sir, for being a survivor. You got a whole theme song just dedicated to you. I'm a survivor. Okay, I see. I can't sing. I don't have that confidence like that. But anyways, with that being said, so kudos to him for surviving. But there's some other conspiracy theories. You mentioned a lot of them, Nick, but another one was that this was a publicity stunt so that he can draw attention to the fact that his lawyer is going to say, hey, we got new evidence. Because supposedly he's up and talking already again, even though his lungs, and they said both lungs had collapsed. So if both lungs collapsed, how the hell you got breath enough to talk? How the hell you off a ventilator already, only within 24, 48 hours if both lungs collapse? So there's other conspiracies that are going around pertaining to this, largely saying that this was a publicity stunt to lead to them opening up his case or so that his lawyers could say, he got stabbed this many times, but guess what? New evidence has come out and blah, 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 blah. Now, as far as I'm concerned, I'm just like, damn, Megan, you just can't catch a break. First, you like 6 feet tall, fucking a midget. And now this midget keep coming at he's like the gift that keeps giving. And I'm sorry. I just wish you can catch a break. I don't know what's going to happen in this case. I don't know if it's truth or lies or whatever the case. But we do know, as Jay said previously, something happened. Something happened to your big toe. Something happened that he ended up in jail for. Right? And so we know that there's something there. Now it's rather Kelsey. So maybe Kelsey should be in jail with Tory. I don't know what the case. Both people had their hands on the guns according to this news story. And that's how both, 2 more shots went off. And I think that Megan is actually getting the kind of a bad deal on this because she originally didn't want to testify in the first place, nor was she the one who brought the charges. The state brought the charges, but everybody disregard that. And also, another reason why I think she's kind of getting the bad deal on this, she's still the victim. Her big toe was the one that got shot. She could have been walking around here with her equilibrium all toe up because now she got, what's it called when your balance be off and stuff? I don't know. Was it Valigo? Yeah, there it is. And I'm just like, come on, folks. Yeah, I was trying to think of, I knew it started with a V.
Valigo was crazy.
I was trying to think of what it was. It was coming to me. But so thank you for that. So
Vertigo.
I just think that whatever the case, yes. So I think whatever the case may be, I hope that the truth comes out and whatever that truth may be, either exonerates or put Kelsey right there with her. with him. Or, or at some point, I just think that folks need to stop hating on Megan. That's what I'm saying.
I was with you. I was right with you. To you, like, folks need to stop hating on Megan. And then, and I'm not for hating on nobody, okay? Because hate is a waste of your energy. There's a lot more to this story. Like, for instance, that Tory dated both Kelsey and Megan at some point, right? Like the fact that if you watch their documentaries, if you watch the right three on Tubi, but no, if you watch if you watch documentaries, you'll see that this idea that's being floated by his defense, it could have some legs. It really, really could. And to that end, and I'll wrap it up at this point because I'm not going to get into bashing and hating. I will say though, I think, I guess I'll say a little more. So I think Megan brought it on herself, and that's one fold and twofold. One fold, she brought it on herself if the story that started to go, the story that made the state file charges, that story wasn't 100% true, then she played some part in that. Now she may have been, who knows, influenced, whatever, for whatever reason. But that. Secondly, if she chose, there was a talk in the media, nothing was really known. And then Tory starts doing his songs and he talking, and then she get mad, I guess, or whatever, and she responds, and then now it's blown, and then things snowball. And which is one of the reasons why I think his parents felt like they were being persecuted media-wise or industry-wise or whatever. And I use the word persecuted because this may explain why he had the miraculous resurrection. His family is church people. You know what I'm saying? They church going folks for real. Like, you know what I mean? They was like singing and praying in front of this, like for real. They legit. Like, they just shouting on Sunday, trying to clapping church people music. So what I'm saying is they believe in miracles. Miracles happen every day. And maybe Tory Lanez had his miracle. Maybe he's got another one coming. Maybe he's got a miracle coming in court. I pass.
I think I want to let it go. I wish we can just get over this whole Tory Lanez and Megan Thee Stallion thing. Like, every time Tory comes into the media again, Meg Thee Stallion is getting drugged again for something that she was a victim of. Tory, Dan's Jenkins, is exactly where he needs to be, and that is in jail. Unfortunately, it seems like karma has caught up to him and gave him a few things to think about while he's in the hospital. Now, I don't wish bad on anybody, but I wish that his incident in jail didn't impact her so much, because I think she would agree with me in saying that she wished that we'd all just let it go. It's like, we're tired of it. Did she do it or did he not? Like,
Yeah, I mean, this has been going on for a while. It's starting to wear out its welcome. Hopefully they can figure it out and then, move on. It is a miracle if he had 2 collapsed lungs and he's up and walking around and breathing. I am not a medical expert, so that may be possible. So don't come for me in the comments, right? But at the worst, this is going to be a great album. This is going to come out, and this is going to be his 50 Cent I Was Shot 9 times. He's going to, I don't know how you mix that into album, I was stabbed 14 times, allegedly, because they are saying he was allegedly stabbed 14 times. I don't know how you don't definitively know somebody was stabbed 14 times. But that seems pretty, open and shut, whether you were stabbed 14 times or not, but whatever. The timing is a little uncanny with the new evidence, and his dad is asking Governor Newsom to let him out of prison and to bring him home. So it's a lot of pieces going on here, but worst case scenario, he's got a hot album coming out off of the I've Been Stabbed 14 Times. And hopefully somebody's working on a hot track for that.
Facts. That's it. Do you want to go? Or did you want me to go?
I opened it up.
Oh, you did? Oh, my bad. So, I was sitting here as a man realizing, because I think I heard what Tia said. And, sometimes as men, sometimes we come on these platforms and it might come across a certain type of way. So I don't want to be the guy who just piles on, right? Because sometimes you do have to look at it from Megan's perspective, right? Like, she was just out partying with her homegirl, you know what I'm saying? And the nigga she was fucking at the time, they, just having a good time. Maybe she didn't know that her homegirl was fucking the nigga that she was fucking. You know what I mean? And you got liquor involved, young people. And yeah, you guys are right. She was a victim. You know what I'm saying? And she got shot. But like, not really like shot like in a Tupac kind of way, but I don't know like if it was fragments or exactly what happened. But she certainly did have injuries, which is not to be taken lightly. You know what I'm saying? And then since then, who knows where her mental has been, right? And all the things she had to deal with that situation. And then, she's still trying to resume her career. So, since then she's gotten to deal with Popeyes opening up stores, continue to go about her life. So I get that, our sympathy should be with her being the victim. But the thing that I wonder, though, because this is where I think the crux of the story is that what if Tory didn't shoot her, right? Because two things can be true at the same time. Like, she could be a victim and the wrong person is paying a crazy price in a situation that was unfortunate for everyone involved. You know, the new evidence that the brother was talking about was supposedly the sister was talking about how she did what she did. There's a lot of people who believe that Tory did not, in fact, shoot her like that, the way that it's been portrayed. You know what I'm saying? And if there's any hint of truth to that, right? Then how could I at the same time have empathy for the victim who then victimized somebody else? Right? Like, I think because I don't know what happened, I think the problem with this case and this problem, the reason why it remains in the news is because you have people on both sides, and I guess people already made their choices. But a good judge, I think, tries to sit back and look at the situation as fairly as possible, right? At least in terms of the judge of public opinion. And so I can say that, yes, she suffered something unfortunate, but it would be really unfortunate that if her friend was the one who's responsible for those injuries. And so the friend gets to go loose and brag about it and do their thing. While the brother, while yes, he's done a lot of things and he was really fucked up in a lot of ways, but does he deserve to get 10 years in prison for it? Like, just stop for a second and imagine. Again, I don't know, right? Because we can always empathize with the victim here, right? So if he's in fact in jail, like a lot of Black men sometimes are, who are innocent of the crimes that they've been convicted of, can you imagine being in jail knowing you didn't do it? Yes, you played your hands wrong. And so I get it. You got to pay a penalty. But while you're in jail, you get stabbed too. So is it okay for me to have empathy for him as a victim, not only of a stabbing, but potentially a victim of an injustice? Right? Or does for some people the injustice only relate to when she is the victim in this case? So I get it. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of reasons why people are impassioned. But I think in this case, if two things were true, meaning that yes, she was a victim and yes, Tory is a victim, the difference is that she would have played a role in victimizing him when he did not do that to her, right? In fact, there's any truth and merit to the fact that he was not the one responsible, because for whatever reason, and I'll land with this, I find it interesting, especially amongst women, that somehow y'all can't imagine that if her friend was fucking the same nigga that she was fucking, and there was alcohol involved, and oh, this little short playboy ass nigga was about to fuck Kylie too in front of me, oh, this disrespectful ass little nigga that I let be around me, right? Y'all can't imagine that the homegirl who is jealous of her friend's success and how she's able to move, there's no way that Kelsey could have done it. So if y'all in y'all Black women's minds know how some of y'all trifling Black women move, y'all can't even give the nigga a little bit of grace, like the grace up to his height worth or the grace of the foot or the pinky that he shot. Y'all can't give him that little bit of grace. I mean, you know, because for me, I start off by saying I can understand how she was victimized. You know what I'm saying? And I can. I'm just simply saying, can y'all understand if he too was in fact victimized? And if it were to come out that he was telling the truth, I would love to see y'all reaction then. But go ahead, SNL.
So for the record, I would like to note that I said I did hope the truth come out. So he did get that little bitty of grace right then and there. I don't know if it was his height worth, but he did at least get a pinky toe worth. Yeah, so
Touche. Ashe.